Safe Morrison, and this week in car audio. Tune in. This week in car audio. Tune in. What we talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This week in car audio. Yeah. Tune in. This week in car audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, The Judge, co-hosted by, not Team Send It Dave. Let me fix that.
No, that's not me.
We got Jeffrey Fernandez back. How's it going, Jeff?
Hey, good.
Yeah, let me fix that for you real quick. I got your name wrong on there, obviously. So tell us about your show or something this weekend, will you please, sir?
You're talking to me, Doug,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Okay. So we had a show at Crossfire Car Audio this past weekend. We're switching to night shows, so because that Texas heat, man, is too much. So it did get pretty heated in the base race and top dog competition. So as always, some good action there. See the video later on tonight.
All right. And our guest today is Gorman Cassidy, the loudest super street car ever recorded as far as DB drag goes for the super street division. Good afternoon, Gorman. Oh, we lost him. He's connecting audio.
No.
Oh, that's horrible. I hate when that happens. Hey, guys, if you see this, I'm trying to finish up sharing this, but I did do a show in Reno this weekend. We didn't have a whole bunch of participation, but what we did have, it was a good thing if you guys caught our live feed. Oh, it looks like he's back.
Hey.
Gorman, you back?
Hey.
There he is. All right.
I'm back, man.
Hey, so
We're pushing the buttons.
Obviously it was me. Could you tell us what that score was and what you did, what class and all that, please?
Yeah, sure. Super Street 3 to 4. It's been my class for a long time, and only felt right to come back to that class after my 12-year hiatus away from DB drag. And we posted a 75.2 and then backed it up with a 75.4.
Okay, 75.4. So your record is 75.2.
75.2.
Right,
yeah,
because the way DB
correct.
drag works, it's the lower of your two runs.
Exactly right. Yeah, we didn't have any failures of any kind, so it was just me controlling the knob, and I got a little frisky on that second one and just ramped it up just a touch too much, but it worked out real well. Yeah, we're pleased. We were pleased with that. We've been working super hard on that truck. Hadn't been much publicly shown, but it's had a lot of man hours on it, so we got it figured out now.
Sam Dunn says something silly, like roll tide.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sam Dunn. So Sam lives in Indiana, but he's a big Alabama fan. Go figure, right? At least there's one smart guy in Indiana. Roll tide, Sam.
Our other guy local here to California, his name's Woody McDonald. He just says anything over 173 is just showing off. So
basically, yeah. We've got some stiff competition this year in the Super Street classes, and I probably wouldn't have shown that number. Nothing close to that number.
This early
But we had another number. Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter anyway. it's going to be what it is, and we
Mhm.
got a whole lot more to show. So it's going to be a fun year. The last couple I've spent building this truck, and thank goodness we had the COVID year because I really needed it.
Oh
Really
yeah.
needed it.
Uh,
Um,
yeah.
Had
Bo
time
says.
off, huh?
Yeah. Bo says you my boy,
absolutely.
Blue. Straight from Bo.
Yeah, Bo and I, believe it or not, Bo competed back when I was competing,
Yeah.
but I had a very, very tunnel vision, small viewing angle back then, and I never had the pleasure of meeting Bo, but we became real good friends after me coming back. So yeah,
Hmm.
we that's one of our little sayings. You my boy, Blue.
All right.
Absolutely, he's a true blue dude.
Jeffrey, you want to talk to him about where it started and how you know him from the past and whatnot?
Oh, man, how long ago was it? Probably, I want to say like maybe
2004.
2006, 2004.
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it four? Okay. Yeah. We were
T3
running.
year would have been,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's right.
I think it might have been.
Somewhere in there. Long
I
time.
know I'd won one year. I'd have to see which one. Yeah. Okay. 2005. It might have been 2006. But yeah, we were both running the same brand subwoofers, the T3 Audio. Shout out to
Yeah,
Jonathan Demuth. And yeah,
absolutely.
he had a lot of good things to say about you, and how smart you were. And you actually came out to my vehicle and kind of gave me little tips and tricks and stuff on my car. But you actually walked
I
you walked
remember that.
into the box. You walked into the box and you're looking behind, behind the woofer, and told me, you need to do this, you need to shave this. But hey,
it's odd that I can remember that. That was, now that you say that, I remember that
yeah,
vividly. It was '06 finals,
right. Yeah.
and you were tearing up the sub in one position, the same position every time.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It
remember
was
that.
it was that back wave. We had to notch it out on the bottom, and it kind of led to a lot of challenges, so to speak. But yeah,
Yeah.
Demuth brought you over, and you checked, did a once over of the rabbit there, and was like, maybe it's this. But yeah,
That's right. I
Jonathan,
would try
smart.
this.
Yeah, it's like, did you won that year, right? Was it
I
that
did.
year? 2000?
I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I think back to back wins, and then
Hmm.
not hung up.
So, so did you hang it up after
Business,
2007 or
life,
after two?
kids,
Yeah,
Yeah.
did you
Oh
hang it up
yeah.
after 2007 or 2008?
I was the last show I attended was spring break '07 in Daytona.
Okay.
And we
Wow.
re-upped the record at that point then, which was like a 68.8, I believe is what it was at that time. And
Hmm.
I was I was leaving a job I'd worked at for 15 years in electrical contracting, and deciding to start a business of my own. And you know how it goes. The hobby's got to take the back seat. So
Hmm.
that's kind of how it all happened.
So you and I were on a very similar path there. In 2011 or 12, I DB Drag took a back seat for me. I limited the amount of shows I was doing. My daughter was doing softball. Your daughter was doing softball. We kind of talked about that a little over spring break one year. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah. So I completely understand sometimes the hobby's got to take a back seat for a short amount of time.
Hmm.
So
Sure. Yeah. And we did the softball. I coached fast pitch, recreational and elite level in our area for that entire time when the kids were coming up. And once they basically aged out and started playing high school ball, in our area, you can't be, a kid can't be on two rosters. So
right.
we quit the summer ball and the travel ball, and they played strictly high school ball. And then I started getting the I don't have anything to do with my spare time itch. So that's how this happened again.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yes. So why don't you
Yeah,
tell us
because
about your vehicle then, Gorman?
So it's a '84 B2000 Mazda pickup. Um, pretty, pretty, pretty cut and dry. Little pickup, snug top, and heavy fab B pillar back. Pretty much like all your elite level super street builds. And but I'm super big on people that know me really well. Will tell you I'm funny about things. OCD, if you will. I like a vehicle, even though it's heavily modified, not to look heavily modified. I like it to be true to the division. And while it may not have a $5,000 paint job on it, I like it to look clean and have a little bit of class. So that's what I was going for in this build, and I think I accomplished it. Obviously, Loud's priority one, durables priority two, and then cosmetics come in at a close third. So it's doing rather well, and we're, like I said, it's been rebuilt 3 times over this past season since finals. Testing, tuning, gutted, testing, tuning, gutted, because we knew what we had to compete against in the Euro vehicle, and you can't let any corner be even slightly round. It's got to be perfect. So we're real close now to perfect.
That's good. So are you doing the build gauge? Oh wow, can you hear that, Jeffrey?
yeah, there's some crazy feedback.
Let's try and fix that. Go ahead and get some.
I don't hear that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure the people at home can hear it. Jeffrey, why don't you ask him while I try?
Yeah. So, Gorman, you explained the vehicle. Now, can you talk a little bit about the build? Like, what kind of?
Sure.
You said it's from the B pillar. Okay.
Yeah, B pillar back,
Right.
heavy framing. Yeah, steel, obviously.
Okay.
2 inch by 3 inch, quarter-inch wall.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that's your base. That's your bases. And have to mention my buddy.
I think we might have lost Gorman.
Me too. Oh, so it isn't me because I'm not hearing that echo when it's just.
And you're back.
Yeah, Gorman, we
And
kind
you're
of
back.
lost you there for a second. I think we might have.
Yeah, y'all disappeared for a minute. So yeah, the build, the
Right.
2x3 heavy tube.
Yeah. Nice.
The My buddy Bo came down. I was probably most people don't know, but under the first year of this build, I had a torn rotator. I'd been nursing for a year, and it got real bad. Weightlifting, too much testosterone.
Yeah.
Man, his internet is not the greatest.
Bo over here says he's got T-Mobile, ran out of minutes. Oh no. Do you still do that?
Again.
Yeah,
Here we go.
What Bo said again, will you?
Bo chimed in and said that you got T-Mobile and you ran out of minutes. That was on cue, right on cue.
Yep, that's funny. That's hilarious. So, so wait, what championships do you have? Do you have multiple championships, multiple orgs? What do you got?
Yeah, we've got a few in Alaska, advanced 2. We've got that's pretty much the extent of it now. We've been second place to a Euro vehicle since I came back, basically. Yeah, that's a burn, and yeah,
hey,
no, but
give you the motivation.
That's one of the reasons. that's one of the reasons we, believe it, as competitive as I am, that's actually one of the reasons we came back is I was literally tongue in cheek, kidding and talking to Huggy. Y'all would know Huggy, David Montgomery and Nick, which
Right.
we've
Yeah.
been
Okay.
friends for, 2 decades or more. And
Mm-hmm.
we were just chatting one day and said something about, I said, I ought to build another vehicle since everybody's getting it handed to them by these Euro vehicles that everybody's importing now.
Audio.
We lost audio.
Yeah.
On the YouTube side, same thing. No audio on the YouTube
So let's
side.
see. Did that fix the Monitor mute only. Monitor off. All right. Did that fix the issue, you guys? Chime
Can
in, let us know. Hell, I
you
thought they
guys hear
muted
us
me, he
now?
said. Just now got it back. Okay, yes. So
Nice. Okay.
Okay, I'm seeing it back. Sorry, Gorman.
Hey, that's all right. I'm used to it now.
All right. So once again, tell us, because I think we lost them. Tell us what got you to switch from sound quality iASKA over to the DB drag.
So one event in Perry, oddly enough, I had a judge tell me that my stage height and image width was perfect. Everything, it couldn't be better, and I did SoundQ Plus, so I got max SPL points. I believe at that time it was like 145 dB, and was your maximum allowable.
Max.
And then the very next event I go to, I had another judge tell me that my image width was narrow and spotty, and my stage was low. And I realized at that time I was done playing that opinionated game, that I would much rather do SPL, which I loved anyway and grew up doing, so that a meter, we were all basically being judged by one fair way of doing it, and you took opinions out of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I will say I tried sound quality when I first got into this back in 2000. And it was 99 actually. So I tried the sound quality side, and I went in and I was docked. I had to drive my vehicle to the event, and I was docked because my wheels were dirty. And
Really?
yeah.
Awesome.
And at that point, they also had at that time they just had U.S.A.C. there, and so I was like, hey, you know what? At the U.S.A.C. they don't care if my wheels are dirty or not. And, I mean, I spent a bunch of time doing the time alignment. I stretched out all my freaking speaker cords for my door speakers, my rear speakers, and I made sure they were all appropriate lengths, so that, to fix the time alignment issues and stuff like that. I did a whole bunch of stuff like that, and I get there and they say, well, your tires are pretty dirty, so we're going to dock you points for that. And,
Jeez.
Nick Wright says I'm low vid.
Install point.
Yeah.
Install points. That's what it is. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So that's
exactly what an install point is.
Yeah. And to me, I thought that was ridiculous. And
so like if I was one of your competitors, I would just take a bag of dirt and just throw it on your tires, right? And then you would lose out on points. Is that right? Or?
Basically, yeah, pretty much.
All right. So anyway, yeah. And then DB drag, I went to one event and it was awesome. The head to head, that part was what drew me to it, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The
light towers were a whole nother level.
Yeah. So when I started, I had the light towers. I believe Jeffrey had the light towers. Didn't you have the light towers, Jeffrey, when you guys first started?
Yeah. And Andy actually has them now, but obviously it's not compatible anymore. But Andy had them. He had them on the tower, on the old Kenwood towers.
Yep. And it would be nice to get those back. Wayne is actually working to try and add those back to the system, which would be awesome when we do. Let's see. All right. Here. Okay. You want to hit that stuff on there, Jeffrey, what you're seeing?
Let's see. There's a comment here. Man, it's coming in fast now.
It is.
So I'd asked if anybody had any questions for Gorman. Somebody mentioned, okay, Gorman, we going to see any live testing on the drag page? Hype topic. Let's do some low power live videos.
Low power testing for me. Low power testing for me is basically useless. That's like a measuring stick, just to compare efficiency.
Oh, did he freeze up on us again? Wow, his internet is not bueno. Um, yeah. So what he's saying is that the low power just doesn't give you the true test of what the vehicle can do. It doesn't tell
Hmm.
you about the compression on the drivers. It doesn't tell you the efficiency of the amps wholly, but it does give you a base to
Right.
make changes and see where your gains are going to be.
Right.
Gorman,
Yeah,
did you
usually
hear that?
when we would do our testing, as soon as we turn it up, frequency changes, and stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess it
Exactly.
depends whoever, if it helps you, kind of determine where you want to go. If low power testing helps, then, more power to you. But
Sure,
I guess in
sure.
some cases it doesn't. So,
Yeah, in my opinion, I use low power, and everybody that's a relative subject. Low power to me is going to be far different than low power to someone else. So,
mhm.
I mean, I kind of look at a low power range at somewhere around 5K a coil. Um,
Hmm.
Something like that. I mean, that's anything under that, and you start really changing things, and I see here a lot of people talk about all that stuff, and to each his own. Because if
Right.
you've got 5K a driver that you're using, and that's your max power, well, okay, test it 2K a driver. That you're going to be fairly close. But if you've got 40K a driver, well, that doesn't really do anything for me. So I don't really do live testing stuff anyway. I've never been that guy that I needed my ego stroked or anything like that.
Hmm.
Like I said, I do this. The number on the meter is a direct reflection of how hard I worked, not what the other guy does. And my goal for this year is to turn a number that nobody's ever seen. And
And he
super
did. Oh, is he back? And
well, hit by a few tenths, more than that, a
okay,
little later.
so what was the loudest super street score prior to your run this weekend, or this last weekend, or a
Uh,
couple weekends ago?
75.1.
Wow.
So you got it by 1/10 for record wise, right? Because your 75.2 is what it ended up being. Um. So if you can hear us, or I don't know where you're at right
Sorry,
now.
freezing a little.
Yeah, you are freezing a little bit. Your internet's not bueno. Bo Bourne says, let's talk about that here and now, about the SmackDown that's going to happen at Finals.
Finals.
That,
Yes.
that's your boy Blue,
Finals.
all you blue shirt crew talking. So, any talk about Finals yet, or what? Oh, his
A little bit.
volume. There you
Yeah,
go.
I hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Bo's gonna say, yeah, Bo for a reason, because he will stir a pot.
They just tagged Hank Veach in the comments, so I'm sure there's some more pot stirring coming there. Between Bo and Hank. Oh, you lost your volume, Gorman. Um, can you hear us, Gorman? We can't hear you. Nope, I can't hear you at all. You reconnect your audio or something. Anyway, yeah. So Gorman is gonna be at finals. We're doing that at what's that?
Owensboro.
Owensboro, Kentucky.
Owensboro,
Yeah,
Kentucky.
Owensboro, Kentucky, October 1st and 2nd, 25th anniversary. Like Gorman said, he's looking
Hmm.
forward to that, and he can't wait to.
For finals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there
We
we go.
no, it's sure.
Hank
Oh
Veach is
no, those
there.
two for
So,
cool guys.
so now we got Hank Veach and Bo Boren in the chat there. Man, we should just sit back and watch chat now.
it's a party.
So what's your thoughts on the multiple world finals versus the single one this year stuff? What do you think of that, Gorman? Oh, you lost you again. I think we lost video too this time. Wow, this same thing happened when we tried to do what's his name down in Mexico, huh?
Roberto.
Yeah,
right?
Roberto.
Yeah.
There you are. We see you now, Gorman. Still can't hear you. Can't hear you. So, yeah. See if you can figure out what the issue is with your audio once we get you back there. But anyway, so yeah, so we're going to do that. Jeffrey was part of the first separate World Finals, 2007.
Right.
So he was
Multiple
here on
locations.
You were on the California side.
Yeah.
Sam Dunn put in here, as a business standpoint, multiple finals are smart. As a competitor standpoint, it'll be expensive. Agreed. It will be a little more expensive, especially for the California guys. I mean,
is it multiple locations or multiple finals?
What do you mean?
I'm not exactly sure. So
versus one final.
Oh,
it's
okay.
going to be more expensive for everybody to go to one final versus multiple final locations. Did you get the audio working, Gorman? No, sir. It is not working. Hey, try logging out and logging back in. That might be what you have to do, Gorman.
Dustin says type responses in the chat, Gorman. His fingers are going to be tired.
Oh, there he goes.
Okay. Well, he's going to try to restart.
There we go. He is. He's got it.
So, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see finals. And his Gorman and his guys in the class.
Oh, there we go.
We can hear you
now.
Nice.
My God. Doug, it's got to be your system.
Oh, no.
You can blame me. I get blamed for a lot of stuff. I've been married 30 plus years. I get blamed all the time.
Dang it, Doug.
Brother, I understand that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hank said, hold on real quick. Hank says DB-Drag causes cancer in the state of California because everything else does.
That sounds like something Hank would say.
Yes.
Yeah, no. The last thing apparently I could say when we were chatting was something about finals. You said something about finals.
So what are your thoughts on having the finals in one location versus the multiple locations that we've been doing in the last couple of years? If you can hear that, because your audio is reconnecting. Audio connecting again. Man, he must have stick audio.
I have zero idea, dude.
Okay, so the question was your thoughts on the multiple locations of World Finals versus the single location we're doing this year.
I like it for one reason and one reason only. It brings the ability to go all out in DB-Drag and not try to save equipment and save rounds, knowing that you've got two other orgs to do. So I like it a lot in that regard. The problem, though, the problem is expense and diesel fuel when you're towing vehicles. So.
Yep. Wow. RP Patel says, "Don't choke again." Points that out to Sam. Don't choke, huh? Ooh.
Replying to Sam. Huh?
Yes.
I'm sure.
So my thoughts, my personal thoughts, and I'm nobody obviously, but my personal thoughts on DB-Drag in a single location is it would be nice, say every 3 years or every 4 years, some nominal number, where we have multiple locations all the years except for, like I said, once every 3 years, we have a single location. So that everybody can get together and, because it is different going eye to eye, face to face against your competitor versus over a screen.
Sure. Sure. I get that.
Yeah, but it is beneficial. Go ahead.
I think if you pulled all competitors that compete at finals or on a national level that had intent on going to finals, you'd probably find that they're centralized around the finals locations, if I had to guess. So I don't really have a strong opinion on the satellites or not. I mean, everybody wants to compete at the finals, but I mean, really in the day when I was struggling to get to finals, when I was, amateur and competing against pros, the shop owners, which basically I still am. Um, I was coming in at 10th or ninth or 8th or whatever, not even placing, but it gave me the desire to work that much harder and do what I needed to do to make sure that I at least made brackets. And then when I made brackets, obviously I want to climb the ladder. That fuel doesn't seem to, in my opinion, from what I've seen from a lot of competitors, there's not that desire. It's a look at me and how loud I can play it. Um, Seems to be so much more prominent now. Again, I was gone for a long time, and I know things change,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, I look at it like if you told me, if Doug, you said, you know what, finals is in California only this year, and I knew my vehicle was top notch, I'm taking a week off, and we're heading west. I mean, you know, but that's me. But
Mm-hmm.
that's not 90% of other competitors. So I guess it all boils down to it depends on how bad you want it. You do what you got to do.
Yeah, I
The
agree. Um, I
DB Drag's the elite organization in audio competition, in my opinion. The absolute pinnacle. Wayne and Solis have worked real hard for a long time. 25 years this year to make DB Drag elite. And yes, we've had all kinds of challenges as a competitive organization. Uh, I think everybody exhibits those, and maybe I don't know. I just got a feeling this year's going to be nice, and maybe we could spark some of the interests of the competitors that never got the chance to see how good it was when me and Jeffrey were on the same floor
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
Nashville.
Exactly.
I
That's
agree.
what I'm hoping for anyway.
Uh, uh,
I'm hoping for that.
and I really think the satellite locations are great for growth reasons. I think we're going to have a greater growth with satellite. That's why my suggestion is that we have a single location, but it's every 3 years or so, something like that.
Mhm.
It also helps on the judging side because us judges, we work so separately for the finals and everything, and whenever we get a chance to be all in the same place to judge the same cars together, I don't see your car, you know, 10 times a year. So it's great for me
Sure.
to come over and see your car and give my opinions on, hey, because realistically, and it's not saying that the other judges aren't doing their job, is we get blind to what we see.
Yeah.
Jeremy
Right.
Kramer's seen your car freaking so many times. I mean, it takes
Sure.
him 10 seconds to look over your car. He's just looking
Right.
for changes. Where me
Yeah.
coming in with a fresh set of eyes, well, it's going to take me 5-10 minutes to look through your car, looking at
Mm-hmm.
stuff that he may not be looking at all. So
Yeah.
I think
Right.
it's the benefit of having the judges all in one place together. And I think there's a benefit to that. Like I said, like every 3 years or so, in my opinion, it'd be great. Um,
Yeah.
you know, uh, and,
Yeah. I get that. I mean,
and I don't think it would
I see that.
be, I don't think it would necessarily hurt to change the coast it's on every year too, right? If it
Right.
was East Coast
Right.
1 year, 1 year, and then the 3 years later it was on the West Coast. I don't think it would hurt. You know, the way we put on the shows, unless Wayne has some kind of before he like with Nashville, he had a set. Um, he had a contract with them to do it multiple
Contract.
years. Yeah,
Contract. Yeah.
and that
Time frame. Yeah.
yeah, and that contract gave us a ton of huge benefits. And
Sure.
Nashville was awesome. I mean, sure you remember Nashville, and not sure we're gonna capture Nashville because your first few times, no matter what it is, you're still gonna have nostalgia for it. And
Of
so
course.
so it's not that we're gonna capture it, but it's gonna
Right.
give Moses Martinez, he's gonna go out there. Couple of my team send it guys, they're gonna go out there. They're going to see something completely different than they've ever seen before,
Right.
and
Right.
it's going to be their new moment to capture in nostalgia. And
Yeah, of course,
and I think
and
that's
it'll be
important.
great for those guys to see it. Absolutely, absolutely. And, you talk about easy judging, and I think a lot of the times from a judging standpoint, and this is my, obviously I've never been a judge. However, I've been a competitor forever, and I really do appreciate the tenacity in which y'all try to judge, but I really feel like judging could be made more simple for you guys, and especially in our division. Now, obviously, extreme. You have all these fine guidelines and all this stuff, that you got to deal with. The street cars, you got to really go over, make sure they're not overbuilt, whatever. But in Super Street, I mean, Super Street is kind of one of those. It's pretty simple unless you're really doing something stupid, and like an OEM, if it looks OEM, if it looks similar to an OEM vehicle by Doug Stockton or Jeffrey Fernandez or Jeremy Creamer's opinion, and the windows roll up and down, and the glass is there, and it passes a string test,
Hmm.
let's roll. And you know how much time that would save you all at events? I mean, it's crazy. Like and another factor, you take this. So we've seen a resurgence in low voltage, high power amplifiers come back to the market.
Hmm.
We've Incriminator's got a extremely strong line of low voltage. We're talking 12.8 to 14.4. You're only seeing 5% power difference all the way up in the mid 15s with a fully regulated power supply. And you simplify that, you get rid of high voltage systems that run 16 to 18 volts. Most of those are getting phased out because of all these new amplifier designs anyway. And your judging became so much easier. You don't have to have a judge staring at a meter. You don't have to be, going through a vehicle with a fine tooth comb because it looks OEM.
Hmm.
The windows go up and down. I mean, y'all's job got almost enjoyable with a few of those tweaks. What's your thoughts on that?
We actually did remove some rules. The sound ending rule. And that was a huge one because otherwise, because you were only allowed, what was it, 3 layers or something like that of
Yeah.
sound deadening.
Hmm.
And, people putting sound deadening in their car, they'll put layer, layer, layer. And then right here in this one section where they overlap, there might be a fourth layer. And hell, we need you to
Right.
cut that out. Right. So one of the things Wayne did is he removed the sound deadening rule, which helped a ton in the judging.
Immensely, immensely.
Yeah.
You're right.
Sure, sure.
That was really good. The allowing the vents to be taped or foamed or whatever, that was huge because I literally had to take a flashlight and look in every vent to make sure it was
Right,
clear.
right. Sure.
Because when we were at Oklahoma, I caught somebody brought a car from Europe and he filled his vents full of foam.
Right.
And and it was a Panda and it was
At the
completely against the
time.
rules at the time.
Right.
And
Right, right,
so,
right.
and then I went over there back, and the guy was like, "Oh, I did it," and I flashed my flashlight in there. All he did was paint it black. I'm like, "Dude, it's still in there."
No.
Right.
Then I come
Right.
back, and it's
Well,
on.
that's the guy.
Yeah. So then I come back, and it's on the floor. And I look in there with the flashlight. He only dug it back like 3 inches and painted it black. I'm like,
Right.
okay, dude, real simple. If you're gonna compete, it has to be out. I got to be
Right.
able to see it out.
Right.
And
Sure, sure.
he fixed it. But something simple like that. How much time did I waste at a World Finals on that one vehicle with
Sure.
just that stuff?
Right.
Um,
Oh, absolutely. And that's my point in this. If your voltage limitation is one of the things that you're super stringent on that you're looking at,
mhm.
and most 80% of your market, you got Jake and the guys over there that they got that whole salt line. It's a low voltage line. You got our IX line's a low voltage line. I think everybody else is pretty much jumping on board with that.
Mhm.
It simplifies the car audio enthusiast and the competitor alike, because now you're no longer having to have two different voltage systems, two different
Right.
alternator charging systems, different storage ability, and it makes it better for the seller of the gear at Joe Blow's audio shop down the street because he's getting off the shelf batteries. And it makes it better for the alternator guys building something regulated, fully regulated, versus having to do external regulation. It makes it better for the judges. It makes it better for everybody. So I see that being a trend that's continue getting back to a normalcy, because now power has basically become cheap, whereas before, many years ago, it was extremely expensive. So I think things are changing in a good way, and those changes should reflect in some simplification of y'all's judging. At least I hope so.
So the judges, when we have a judges conference, they kind of make mention to it about me. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Hank Veach and I are going to agree on something right now. I do 100% believe voltage limits should be removed, especially in the power classes. Power's power. It's voltage times amperage. I don't give a crap how you get your voltage. I don't care how you get your amperage. It's when you're limited to 1,000 watts or 2,000 watts, you're limited to 2,000 watts. And that's a contention I strongly push with the judges, push it with Wayne. They all know my feelings on it, and I'm overruled on it every year. And so, it's something that, like I said, in my opinion, it shouldn't be in the rules, especially for the power classes. Yeah, if you want to do it for Super Street, yeah, let's do it for Super Street to make sure they aren't over 18 volts. And for the same reason that Gorman said, which is, we want to push the industry in a way that a local retailer can sell the products that we're using. And,
exactly.
And if we're putting something out there that's 27 volts, then there's no freaking retailer can use it. So I can understand.
A niche.
Right. So I can understand.
You're creating a niche market. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I can
and
understand.
I'm not,
Go ahead.
I'm going to disagree just slightly on your voltage, on your power. And again, I've been known to be difficult, so bear with me. Nothing personal. But, I mean, we know that our wattage is power. And if I could teach any newbie coming in to car audio, the first thing I would explain to them is, your gain is not an output gain. It is an input matching gain.
Input matching.
Not control output. Yeah. It is relative to the loudness of your vehicle, because you have matched your input section to that amplifier. Yeah. And the second thing I would teach them is an amplifier does not build wattage. It builds voltage. It switches. It creates voltage. AC voltage out. Your wattage is just an apparent power number based on your voltage output and your resistance. Now, if amperage pushes your voltage, Doug, wouldn't you say that if you have a lower impedance load with a higher level of amperage, then you are going to produce a higher score than if you have a higher voltage and lower amperage, because you have less push for your power? Think about it.
So I do know
I've
of
tested
ways.
this. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. So I do know of ways to, we'll say, artificially produce a different power output than what your amp is producing.
No. I mean legit.
No. It is legit.
I'm not talking about spoofing. Not spoofing.
No. So if you run that thing up to 16 ohms, okay. So if you're running your speakers at 16 ohms, the ability for you to get the 1,000 watts, it's going to show a way lower number of power on that meter than if you were at, say, 2 ohms.
Obviously. Yeah, obviously.
Right. So, but you can get it, so that way you can rail up the perceived wattage, because
you'd be super efficient. Yeah.
That's right.
You'd be super efficient.
Right.
Because you would have very little resistance for that power to be pushed through the circuit. But And that's just, it's one of my talking points. We have these internal chats with the IA guys all the time. We you know, I talk with Bo and Rob and Nick and Neil and all the guys, and we have these powwows. So we have the same talks you're talking, and we always end up in a disagreement, and it's going to always be that way.
Yep.
But that's what makes this part of a fun hobby, is we just agree to disagree on the front side.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, and I want to have these discussions, and I want to absolutely be the dumbest guy in the room when I'm having this discussion. I
Right.
want to learn
You
something
will
every
soak
time.
it all up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's it's a crazy game we play. I mean, we're grown men playing with radio, so there you go.
Speaking of which, okay, so you're a grown man playing with the radio. What is your relationship with Incriminator? I mean, obviously you got an Incriminator shirt. The cup you keep tilting up says
Sure.
Incriminator on it. Uh,
That's brand placement.
yeah, product placement right
Product
there.
placement. That's what it is.
Product placement. Product
Yeah.
placement.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been friends guys for a long, long time. I was fortunate enough to be one of the competitors on, many, 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 many years ago on Thunder Force, MTX's Thunder Force,
Yeah.
that they had extraordinarily a level of support for, and DEI and Orion back then in those days. And I knew Nick, and Nick was just getting started back in those days, and I had contractual obligations to my people, but that I was running at the time with DEI. But I knew Nick showed me his one of his high end drivers. I knew he was on to something, and he was going to do something big because he was extremely determined and a smart guy. And then 2 years later, I was out of it, and then I come back. And I've heard over the years that he was doing really good and turning out some really good product, and had some awesome ideas, and was kind of thinking outside the box of a lot of people. And then when I came back, I said, well, we're both Alabama guys. Nick's in North Alabama, I'm in Central Alabama, and I'm like, so I just hit Nick up and told him what my thoughts were, and here we are.
Yeah. So was that anybody else on that team when you joined, or?
Oh yeah, the team was huge. It fluctuates like anything else. It's kind of like that family dinner. One big show you'll have 16 people, and most of the year you only see four. It's kind of like that. There's a lot of guys out there in the smaller classes that just aren't nearly as crazy or as motivated as our core. Really our core the last few years is really been we call the three amigos, and that's me and Bo Bourne and Rob Kohler. So we're all pretty jazzed up and fired up about Super Street and the competition, and there's a lot of guys out there that still compete here and there. A lot of entry level guys, but for the most part, it's us three. I think we had some talks that I think there's fixing to be some expansion as far as the teams goes. We've talked about maybe going back to, and obviously I'm not speaking for Nick. I'm just saying that we talked about it in general conversation, that possibly some levels to the team goes, and might come to fruition, and start getting some of these really insane demo type drivers he's designed out into the hands of people that want to show them off and beat them to death. I think that's fixing to come. So that'll be a huge thing for IA. So
Okay. So that would be like the Cyclone class guys.
yeah, he's released. He showed it. He had a model that, although we weren't able to go to Slamology, we had prior commitment and an event planned, so we skipped Slam. But he had new Tyrant driver on the table at Slam, and people have to check out Nick and the website for the info on that. But it's a super bad boy driver, made to beat on. I think it's like I'm not speaking out of context. I think it's a 5K RMS, like daily driver, beat on all you want type driver. Yeah, he's extra excursion, low frequency capability, custom tooled basket, that kind of thing to really get a long throw driver with a ton of motor force and a huge coil in it.
Oh, we might have Nick back on here again just to talk about that. Is that bad for you, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I heard a little feedback. Sometimes I think that I'm causing the feedback when I say something because I can kind of hear it. But
no.
Well, knock on wood, you've been clear, so don't jinx it.
oh yeah, yeah. But you're totally right. The company has to evolve. I mean, you see kind of how the industry is now. You see a lot of these demo guys, and they're speaking volumes because you have shows like Slamology where a lot of the booths now they have demo vehicles. It used to be where it used to be SPL vehicles and stuff like that, but now it's got these hardcore demo guys that can demo from the start of the show to the well past the end of the show. So for Nick to do something like that, hey, it's part of evolution.
Absolutely, yeah. If you don't adapt, you die. So
Yeah.
He's had some really good ideas for a long time, and he talks to the guys, to us about it, and asks opinions and questions, and does what he's thinking, and we really have a really open, if you're die hard and serious, he'll take you, he'll take you under the wing and really get as technical as you want to get, and you can't say that about a lot of people. I got a lot of respect for Nick.
All right, Moses Martinez watching us. He's got the little going on. Speaking of which, we'll talk about that when we're done with this portion of the show. But Moses stepped up and made my next Reno event a 2X event. So he wants to see more people participate, and he feels that if we upgrade the event, it'll entice people to come and participate even more. Gorman's never been to any of my shows other than Slam last year, right? No, you weren't at Slam last year, were you?
Not last year. No, I watched you live stream. I was not at Slam.
Yeah.
Last year.
Oh no, you
family vacation.
You were at spring break. You were at spring break one year when I was doing it. Because we went to Roadhouse afterwards or some steakhouse. So
that's right. That sounds right.
Yeah, that's right.
Sounds like Gorman.
That's right. Steakhouse. That's me all day.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. So I mean, it's my events. I do huge trophies. So, at a 2X, it'll be like 3 foot 2 inch tall trophy for first, 29-inch tall trophy for second, and then an 18 for third. At a 3X, it'll be a 4 foot, 3 foot, 2 foot, or roughly 30-inch for third. So we do really big trophies. Yeah, so he's like, hey, you know what? Let's bring out the big trophies. Let's get the multiplier out there. Let's help people get some points, opportunities to go to finals. We've actually been working on trying to put together a couple of transports so we can hopefully get like 6 to 8 vehicles to World Finals from California this year, which would be great.
Yeah, awesome.
And once those guys go to the World Finals in one single location, they'll see the value in it, as we were discussing earlier. Sure. I think there's a huge value in it. Not discounting that there isn't a value in having the multiple venue location. There's a great value in that too. And I think that the value in the multi-location is for the new guy getting his feet wet and wants to just experience some World Finals. And that's why my suggestion, once again, is also like every 3 years or something, have a single location, because that single location has a different thing, and you can build up to it. One of the suggestions would also be, hey, if you won your class in any of those years, it gave you an automatic invite into the single location, So you go, 2 years you're doing multi-venue, then the third year you're in a single location. So if you won your class in any one of those multi-venues, that gave you an automatic invite to finals for that year. So, but that way you're looking at hey, these are all champions at this. And it actually, as a competitive person, myself, as you are, um, it gives you, hey, there's something to shoot for. I want my automatic invite, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And we used to do that automatic invite, right? Back in the day, if you won your class the
Right.
previous year, you automatically got an invite the following year to World Finals. So
It's like you
Yeah,
got to
returning
defend your
champion.
title, right?
right,
Yeah, exactly. You got to defend your
Exactly.
title.
Exactly right, and that's a draw. That's a draw for the competitor that knows they're in the top three in the world,
hmm
for sure. Do I think it's going to make Johnny and his Honda with 210 show up? Probably not. You've got, but the whole aspect of it is in your area. You know what your competitor base is, and you know how to play to your base. And as long as you have the freedom to do that as a judge and a promoter, then you are basically responsible for building the interest in your area, and in turn cultivating that interest into a national level stage.
yep. Jeffrey's doing a great job of that out there in Texas. You know, he grew an area that essentially was non-existent when he showed up, and now
Right.
he's getting reasonable attendance at his shows.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
had
Texas
two
was.
two champions coming out of Texas at the last finals, and one of them actually went to Eastern finals and Western finals. Mel Valadez, and
Yep.
he ends up winning the world championship. So hey,
That's huge.
guys are out there. Yeah, it's
That's
huge.
awesome. That is awesome.
Yep. All
Yeah,
right.
Texas was, if I understand right, wasn't Texas and that Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona area, wasn't that huge for USAC? Isn't that
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much USAC territory?
Oh yeah, it's definitely USAC country for sure. But if you're loud, it doesn't really matter what organization you're in. You just want to be able to prove that you're loud. So I think
Absolutely.
the competitors out
Absolutely.
there is what's really making the organization grow. So I was just there. I'm putting up shows, but it's the competitors and the people that support the events that really make it huge. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Totally agree.
All right, guys, we've already hit our hour mark. I really appreciate that. I've been trying to get Gorman on here for over a year. He keeps on giving me the I'm busy, so I appreciate him actually spending some time. I do know he's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got a business to run, and being your own contractor, hours are they aren't what they're supposed to be.
Very.
They're not. It's not a
Ooh,
nine to
boy.
five job.
oh wow,
It's 7 days a week. You have to make some sacrifices, and it's not only you; it's your family that are making those sacrifices with you. And so, when you
Sure.
do get some spare time,
Absolutely.
uh, throwing a bone out to some lonely judge out in the West Coast isn't top priority. And I understand.
yeah.
I do understand. Um, you know,
Hey, I had one I wanted to mention that I've kind of been doing some thinking about, and I wanted to see what y'all's opinion is because I
okay.
don't think y'all have heard this angle before. You know how back in the day we would have final round or semi, maybe in the semi, at least in the final, some of the elimination rounds. You'd have maybe a little sandbagging going on, made the game really interesting, and
Mhm.
I might burp off at three quarters, he clicks down or something, and then X guy comes in and comes back, and then right at the end we both go wide open, and whoever wins wins. Remember
Mm-hmm.
those days?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on if you took elimination brackets or at least final bracket and upped our time from 30 seconds to 60 to enable that to happen again? I mean, we could do it with the 30 seconds, but you know good and well, by the
hmm
time you go ready, set, go, and
Yeah.
we power everything up, and now most of us are rolling, not straight burping. We're
Mm-hmm.
taking 5 or 6 seconds during a roll. You don't have multiple rolls in one
Right.
session. But if we double that time in the final, you're adding 30 seconds per class per run,
In the
which is
final only is what
obviously,
you're saying.
it could be in the final only, it could be in the elimination round. I mean, not only what better test would it be for the sticker on the side of the vehicle to show the durability of multiple hits for one,
Mm-hmm.
and then the ability to play the game and get more crowd interest in watching the big show at the end.
Yeah. So you're basically you want to extend the time to be able to, allow your competitor to put up a number, then you put up a number, and then the other competitor's turn to. Oh, okay.
Then the
Yeah,
last
we've
10
seen
seconds,
that.
then the last 10 seconds, you're coming back at it again simultaneously, and whoever didn't break in those other ones, you got a show. The final
Right.
round, the final run in an aspect like that would be a show. Could be a show. Obviously, both participants have to be willing to torture their stuff to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the only issue with that is the programming. I don't think it's unsurmountable, but I would believe that in the finals, if we extended it to say 45 seconds, so from a judging standpoint, especially at DB drag in base race and top dog, those things are more exciting from a spectator view. DB drag, if we had 45 seconds of dead time, it's not as exciting. But I do see where you're getting at, and maybe this could be just a world finals thing, right?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Because
I mean, at the end of the day, you're looking. You're wanting more eyes to be involved, and
yes,
and you're wanting the people to really be focused on those final runs and hanging around, not dipping out early.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
just
the
seems
reason.
like it would be.
My shows, I do top dog last for that exact reason. Top dog's exciting. It goes. I mean, I can literally do a top dog show. So you tell me how many people are in it, and it's 4 to 5 minutes per competitor. So if there's 10 competitors, I can do that in less than 50 minutes. I can do an entire top dog show with 10 competitors. And we run it, we get it. It's exciting. Every run's exciting. And it'd be nice if we could find a way to make DB drag that exciting. And it is to somebody like you, me, Jeffrey, because we understand, right? It's a knowledge base. So that's part of what I try to do on the microphone during my shows is I try to, explain why this is so exciting and why this is so impressive. It's just difficult to do with people that don't have the knowledge. And let's talk really, we're less than 1% of the car audio market. So,
of course.
They
did Wayne used to do a super good job at Nashville. Either Wayne or either he had somebody handling a microphone that was basically, you remember there was spectator stands in front of the judging lanes, and we had TV monitors, and they were explaining what was going on, and in between rounds, instead of just having this dull silence, you had an announcer, or Wayne himself was saying, for every 1/10 of a dB, we have to add 1,000 watts of power at these levels, or whatever the case may be. And he was educating as much as keeping them interested. So
you'll see that when we have the unified finals. No, you'll have that when we. So that's what I do on the West Coast finals. You've seen a couple of my live podcasts of my events. So I do that during my events.
Okay.
Well, the reason we didn't do it at where were we at this year? Indianapolis. Right? Isn't that
for finals?
Yeah.
No, at Alabama, right?
Oh, Alabama. That's right. We were in something Shoals, right? So
Muscle Shoals.
Muscle Shoals.
So the reason I didn't do it there is Jeremy said, "Hey, some of our competitors definitely don't want that because it was so different than their norm at the shows,
right?
That they were like, whoa, we don't want this." And Jimbo, when he came out east, he was completely flustered with. Oh, wait, there's so much information, so much stuff. What do I need to do? And he really was flustered. And he didn't complain about it, didn't nothing, right? But he was 100% flustered.
It was different.
Because it was different. Right. But
I think it was just too much going on.
Yeah.
Too much going on, I guess.
Right. But he didn't understand. I mean, he does understand, but it didn't click in his mind at the time that all this information isn't for him. his focus is what he's doing, as you know, right when you're doing your own focus.
That's right.
But my focus is I am trying to engage the people around us and the people that might just be walking by going, well, what the hell's going on here? And we need
Sure.
those people to help us grow, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I mean, if you don't grow, you die. So
yep.
it's,
But I mean,
I
that's
like
worth
the full
telling.
freestyle.
That's worth telling Wayne about,
Yeah.
right? So I'll bring
Yeah.
it up
Right.
to him for
Right.
sure.
Right. Yeah. Why not? I mean,
Yep.
anything to get more engagement from spectator or the pit guy that's coming with John over here.
Hmm.
The two pit guys might be coming to help him, and they don't really know what he's doing. They know John knows what he's doing, but they're learning on the fly too. So
Hmm.
Hmm.
you it's kind of like everybody's a sponge when you come to something like that, and they don't know what's going on. They're soaking up what they hear and what they see. So hopefully you make it a positive experience and give them the information. And if the bug bites them like it did us almost 25 years ago, then there they are.
Yeah. I will say, every time I get a new person that comes to a show, the question I always ask is that what you expected when you came out here today? And inevitably, I have had zero people say, no, this is way more interesting than I ever thought it was. It truly is. Whether it's on the DB drag, the base race, the top dog, the freestyle, cyclone,
Sure.
it's not what they perceive it to be. There's so
If
much
you
more
can't,
going on.
yeah, yeah, if you can't understand what it is you're looking at, it's going to be very hard to
Hmm.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think that's a common sense approach.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go out with a dictionary explanation, but
No.
5 seconds of a brief description of something. This is a
Yeah.
full range, 20 to 20,000 hertz measurement system, and this is what we're doing, and these guys are going to be scored, done, and you start your timer. But
Yeah.
it sounds like with anything else. You have so many moving parts. It's a whole lot more difficult to do it than it is to say it.
Hmm.
So I mean, I commend you guys as hard as y'all judges work, and that's why I brought up the whole thing about making judging easier by eliminating some of the phone book. That way, there's no reason to have a phone book of a rule book if you have decent competitors following the rules. You don't have to have a book this thick. This book that's this thick is for the guys that don't do what they're supposed to do, not for the vast majority.
Right.
So that's
You
why
know what I help?
you're
What I think would help too is, you know, um, ambassadors such as yourself and even Rob, explaining to the guys on the side, oh, watch this score right now. He's going to do this, and this is why it happens. To kind of get the excitement level up. In addition to the judges. So I mean, it's not only us that are explaining what's going on. It's you guys that are on the sideline and saying, hey, and it could be that one new guy, novice guy that's kind of has one ear, listening to you guys, and then maybe another ear listening out for, the scores and stuff like that. So I think, just being open about things and saying, hey, man, watch, he's going to bust his window, or, hey, step back, windshield's going to bust and stuff like that. So, it really helps
right.
when the competitors are really into it as well, such as yourself, and wanting to get everybody involved. So
Enthusiasm
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
contagious.
Absolutely.
100%.
exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly.
For
Enthusiasm is
sure.
Yeah, I
contagious.
mean, when Gorman hit his record, I haven't seen any video of it yet, but I'm sure he was excited as hell. He was pumped. The people around him were pumped, and I guarantee they brought in extra people that were, you know, a little further away. They might not even have been on his team, but they were pumped for him because enthusiasm is contagious.
Yes,
100%.
yes, I agree.
Yeah, I had one of those guys coming. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was pretty cool. Which I mean, face it, when you get on the level that myself and our immediate competitors are on, you know what the vehicle's going to do.
Yep.
I mean, I can call the number, click to click to click, and we were trying to just show a really strong number, and it somebody told me, he goes, you didn't look excited. that's an epic number. That's like so huge. And I was like, it's a good solid number. It's a good solid number. And they're like, I don't get it. If I did that, man, I'd be doing cartwheels out here. And it's hard to explain to them that you don't show your hand because you got competitors all around the world that are going to be gunning for the number you just put up.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not showing them everything there is. And it's a balancing act in bringing a new competitor on and explaining that to them. But in the same time, you know, showing them a little happiness, a little enthusiasm because you were pumped that you had a great number or whatever. So it's kind of that middle of the pack guy that does the best job at that because we take it so serious where we are that sometimes we miss those opportunities, you know?
Oh yeah, the guy that hits
Maybe
his
we
first
need to do a better job than that.
The guy hits his first 155 or 160 for the first time ever. Dude, that guy there is one of the best things that could happen to any show. You know?
Absolutely. Oh, the best thing I saw, you know, and that's noteworthy. Jeremy Creamer's son, Trent, base raced for the first time, 29.9, and wins.
Yeah.
And wins. That was epic. That was epic. I was way more excited about that than my 75.4. I can promise you.
How old is his son?
15.
Okay, we got 15. A 10-year-old out here that's starting to base race. So he's been to 2 shows now.
Wow.
And
who's that?
Josh T.W.I.C.A.S2. It's his son.
Oh, okay. Right.
So his son uses his vehicle because Josh will do he'll do freestyle and he'll do cyclone or top dog, freestyle, and cyclone. And so he does those, and then his son uses his truck because obviously at 10 years old, he ain't letting his son drive his truck anywhere.
That's right. That's right.
So then his son will base race, and you know, I had Josh on the phone when he started teaching his son, and told his son, yeah, every time you hit a 129.9, honk your horn. And so I'm talking to Josh. I'm on there for probably 15 minutes, and every 45 seconds, you can hear it in the background. Comes to the show, and he goes. I go, hey, what happened? Because he only did a 129.7 in the show. And I was like, oh, what happened? And he goes, well, it's a lot harder when somebody's next to you. I said, I bet you it is.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah. So with that being said, we are almost our longest podcast. We're about 2 minutes short of our longest podcast we've ever done.
Wow.
I do appreciate Gorman for coming on. Thank you for cutting out some time and being part of this show, being part of what we've done in the past. If somebody, so hit a quick shout out to any sponsors or anything, some way somebody can get a hold of you if they were trying to get a hold of you or follow you and see what you're doing. Shows coming up. Can you share that with us, please? Yeah,
I mean we're pretty much done for the season. We may hit another triple point here or there just to do a little real, what I like to call real world testing. You know, testing on the meter is one thing, but putting it out there for everybody to see is another. And if we need to show a little bit bigger number, we're going to show a little bit bigger number coming before finals. Just going into finals to build a little excitement.
Okay.
Not sure exactly what show that'll be. We're just going to take it as it comes and see what happens. We're looking forward to finals. We're really looking forward to finals. We want to go into finals healthy and knowing more about the vehicle and we've known about it since it's, you know, first time it played just a couple of years ago. So we're really, really jazzed up.
Okay.
If anybody, you know, wanted to get a hold of me, obviously I get, you know, requests on Facebook, obviously daily, messages, requests, tips. Can you help me out with this? Who do I talk to about this? What does this mean? And you know, I feel oddly enough, as many of those that come in, I do a pretty good job at replying to those because I just feel like Brantley Waits and a couple of those big names way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Ed Easton and the guys out of Florida, Brantley Waits, those guys took time to talk to the amateur in 97 and 98 and share what they knew at the time. And, you know, I think that's kind of a homage you got to pay back.
Oh, was that you that they were sharing knowledge with?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Brantley Waits.
Yeah.
Brantley Waits.
I think he did the
sent
first
me a
60,
care
right?
package. I'm sorry.
I think he was the first one to do a 160, right?
I believe
Brantley
that's
Waits,
right.
I believe
I
so.
believe
Yeah,
that's right. At
yeah,
one of the 97, 98 finals, I can't remember which it was
yeah.
now, but we were talking, and he actually got my information and sent me in the
Oh.
mail, snail mail, Waits audio shirt, stickers, keychain, yeah, the whole
That's
deal. He was a
awesome.
super cool dude back then. We need more guys like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And we do have them out there, guys. Like I said, Rob, he responds to a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, Rob's a super dude. He's going through the shoulder surgery and all I went through. Bo came down and helped me get started on the heavy lifting on that steel. Dude, that stuff is so hard to work with by yourself. It's not even funny, and especially with a jacked up shoulder. Bo came down and did the heavy lifting and the grunt work, getting me started and lined out. And then Rob, in March, I took my truck. I had to have somebody help me close the tailgate on the trailer and load the truck. And I took the truck down there with a shoulder basically still slinged up. And Rob crawled in and out of my truck. I can't tell you how many times working on it.
Wow.
I mean, our little unit is small, but it's mighty, man. It's a family unit. We do it for real around here.
And obviously, Incriminator Audio is who you run and who you back,
sir.
And they back
Excess
you.
Power. Yeah. Scotty, the guys I've known
Scotty.
for decades, man, in this game. This guy's great product, and even Jonathan coming back on board. Getting back into the bus bar game. Jonathan made me some super killer bars that I had to add to the stuff that Project DB, Jeff Camberg, had made me some really quality stuff too. And, when people in this game and you treat them right and, they don't mind helping you out. And, a big one this year that's responsible for a lot of success. I actually got two, and that's Kicker.
Okay.
Kicker's starting to come back around, and I had a great relationship with those guys years and years ago, and I really really like their wire. They have super super awesome power wire, and that's what I run. I run all Kicker wiring in the truck, and I try to run what I believe is the best out there, and I really like their power wire and their interconnects. That's what I run. Excess Power on power supply. And IA for everything else, man. And the one of the heaviest dimes I can drop on you is Vibraflex, dude. If I don't know how much you've worked with it, Doug or Jeffrey, because I didn't work with it back in the day. It was Dynamite back in the day.
Bring a blowtorch. Bring a blowtorch with you.
Yep.
Andrew Bailey. I ordered a pallet of that stuff from Andrew Bailey, and it is the absolute truth, man. I'm telling you, I think we're somewhere in the 700-800 pound range, and that's what it takes to do. That's what it takes to do the numbers and keep the metal from ripping. I mean, that's what it takes. So it's crazy. I've had a lot of good support, and a lot of people that are willing to lend a hand, and I mean, it's business at the end of the day, and it's a business transaction, but just being willing to get it to you when you need it, or to help you that little extra bit, it pays dividends. I can't say I'm grateful any more than I'm super grateful to all those guys.
You want to hit him with that last question, Jeffrey?
Yeah. Gorman, you've been around a long, long time. You've seen a lot of people come and go. A question that we ask all of our guests is, what is I'm sure you've seen it, this whole time. What is your definition of a bass head?
I think that for me, a bass, although I don't really like the descriptive term so much as a bass head, and you probably know why, because bass head is 2 syllables, and it sounds a lot like a title you wouldn't want to be called if you had a dependency problem. But I think a guy that likes bass, to me, I think is I mean, I think a bass head would be a guy that a guy or girl that just enjoys the 100 hertz and down frequencies. They like to feel the music they're listening to. So it's not only a euphoric kind of emotional response, but it's a physical one as well that just ties everything together. If you listen to anything, in my opinion, if you listen to anything without some kind of 100 hertz and down low end, you're not listening to it. It's not the same. It's not complete. So I think a bass head is somebody that appreciates the overall enjoyment of music in a full range.
Okay. All right. Hey, so Jeffrey, what do you got coming up, sir? We'll close this thing out real quick.
I got a show that we just booked not too long ago. It's going to happen in California. I'm going to be back in California.
Back to Cali.
Yeah, I think it's the second weekend of July. We got some of the SPL teams out there. Team Gorilla Hertz, who's sponsoring the event. They found a venue. Shout out to Adrian as well as Al and Greg Marmolejo, who found the spot that we're going to be having the event in. So check it out on the DB Drag Racing calendar.
Is that July
should be coming
9th?
up July 9th. Yes, Saturday, July 9th.
Where
it's
at?
going to be in San Bernardino.
Okay, so they're also having one in Fresno on July 9th, but that's not DB Drag. That's another brand.
Right.
I don't remember what it is, but so anyway, so there's another one. So July 9th. I had also a July 9th event up in Sacramento. We are moving mine to the following weekend, which would make it the 16th.
16th? Yeah.
Yep. So we are going to do mine on the 16th. Just because my wife already planned something for me, and as Gorman and Jeffrey can tell you, when your wife plans something for you, you move your plans.
Absolutely.
They don't move theirs.
Happy wife, happy life.
Couldn't say any.
Yes. So with that being said, and as I already mentioned, July 23rd in Reno is now going to be a 2X event, sponsored Moses Martinez. He stepped up and
Nice.
And put it on and made it a 2X. Him and Rosa drove down to Reno, and they were really happy, had a great time there. And the only thing is low participation. So, like, once again, they're trying to entice people to come from California and be part of the event on July 23rd in Reno. Other than that,
Cool.
Once again, Gorman, hey, appreciate you being here, bud.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Great amount of information. Jeffrey, once again, superstar, as always, doing your thing, growing your area. You know, I'm sure we're here sooner than later. How you're a movie star again, and you're running video games or you're on commercials and
Hopefully
whatnot.
soon.
Yeah. So those should be coming up, and we'll hear about those. But once again, hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching This Week in Car Audio. We'll be on again next week at 5:30 California time, the only time that really does matter.
No.
And we'll be back here every Monday. Real quick. July 4th. Is that next weekend? No. July 4th weekend on-air meeting, Quick Jeffrey. That is a Monday. Would you mind switching our podcast to Tuesday, July 5th?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. So
That's
we are
cool.
going to go to July 5th. And Gorman, you're going to know these guys that are coming on. It's going to be both the Riley brothers, Alan and Bobby.
Wow, what?
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Flash from the past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Alan's gonna drive up and be with Bobby for 4th of July, and he's gonna stay there and do the podcast on the 5th. So
Yeah, catch them both in the same spot, right? Perfect timing. Good job, Doug.
Absolutely.
yeah, so we're gonna have Alan and what's his name on that weekend? Alan and Bobby.
Bobby.
Bobby Riley.
What's his name?
What's
Bobby.
his name? He's already been on. He's a what's his name? And plus, Alan and I both are bowlers, so yeah. So I talk to Alan all the time about bowling stuff. So, but anyway, guys, hey, thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna try and get this on later tonight if I can, on on the podcast. If you guys want to sponsor the show, right down below me, right down there below Jeffrey, right there above Gorman, we have a spot. We can put a sponsor's name. If you need any information, get a hold of one of us, Jeffrey or myself. We got a pricing schedule for anybody that wants to support the show. We'll put your name on here. We'll have commercials. I got all that stuff set up on there. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week on This Week in Car Audio.